Yeah, seriously. This is the real thing we're debating. But even bigger than that, the American Civil Liberties Union, which actually used to be a good organization back in the past, they used to fight for free speech and everything. It used to be a great organization. Now they just push woke crap. In a tweet, they're getting blasted right now because in a tweet, they came out in support of this dude. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the tweet for you. They're really mad about this guy getting executed in Florida. The state of Florida, this is out of the ACLU Twitter. The state of Florida never provided medically necessary gender-affirming care to Dwayne Owen, causing her, which is really a him, enormous suffering and violating her right to be free from cruel and unusual punishment for more than 30 years she was in state custody. And they go on to say in legal papers that were drafted, Owen wrote that she should be accorded the essence of human dignity to be allowed to become, quote, who she was meant to be before her death. So basically having a gender transition surgery and enabling the mental illness. No one should be killed by the state. The time to end the racist, unfair, and cruel death penalty is now, according to the ACLU. Well, when you look, actually, Twitter fact-checked this stuff, and it says readers added context that they thought people might want to know. So Dwayne, the person they're describing, they got executed, this transgender that got executed, Dwayne stabbed a 14-year-old, Karen Slattery, 18 times, killing her, then raped her corpse. He committed murder again years later. True story. So the ACLU is out here saying, oh, man, they didn't let this person, this executed person, they executed this person who wanted to change their gender, man. They executed this person, this poor transgender, this victim. Oh, man. Turns out this is a child rapist. Seriously. This is who the left wants to defend. This is the problem with the left. They did this with George Floyd, too. They did this with that other dude that got killed on the subway recently by Daniel Penny. I forgot the guy's name that got killed, but you know what I'm talking about. This is what they do. You could probably actually find an instance of somebody not being able to get the gender transition surgery that they want that might actually be able to convince people. But instead, they pick the worst martyrs. The left picks the worst martyrs. They got George Floyd, who's a fentanyl addict. They got the dude that was harassing people on the subway and threatening people. And now they got a literal child murderer rapist that they're trying to defend. Seriously. And so the ACLU is getting absolutely slammed for tweeting this the defense of this pedophile and murderer who was executed in Florida. The state of Florida, so I said that I mentioned earlier that the ACLU said the state of Florida never provided medically necessary gender-affirming care to Dwayne Owen. Oh, man, medically necessary. Let's talk about that for a second. They claim that it's medically necessary. No, it's not medically necessary. This is a cosmetic surgery to enable your mental illness. It's not medically necessary. Owens, again, this is out of the Daily Wire, was sentenced to death for raping and stabbing a 14-year-old girl. My God. And then he raped a 38-year-old who he beat to death with a hammer. Both of those happening in 1984. He also attacked two other women, but they both survived. But those two both fortunately survived. James Wood responded, this actor, he was in that Hercules animated movie. He responded to this on Twitter. He said, if he had been executed in a timely manner, it wouldn't have been a problem in the first place. Then the loved ones of his murder victims wouldn't have been the ones who actually suffered for 30 years. The only injustice is what conservative commentator Allie Beth Stuckey tweeted, said the only injustice in Owens' case, the only injustice is that it took the state 40 years to execute him. Yeah, this is a scumbag. And I'm not usually a big supporter of the death penalty. I don't believe the death penalty is necessarily creating the right message. But if there's somebody that deserves it, it's this guy. And I don't really care about what gender he thinks he is because he killed and raped a 14-year-old girl. Who cares what gender you think you are? You're a scumbag. You're a scumbag. Everybody, we got to take a break here, but we'll be right back with more Speechless on Cities 92.9, the news and talk of Bloomington Normal.